It's a rare day that I work on two projects simultaneously. I tend to be very tunnel visioned and want to get done with one project at a time. But in this case, what you're going to see is the results of the last month worth of work on two different projects. And welcome to update number 19 for the 11th of February 2016. As you remember in the last update, I was talking about adding a siding track here along the wall and a building back there, and I've built the turnout. It's another Fast Tracks turnout. Added that siding, and then as you can see, added two buildings back here. The one on the right is a background building from Walthers. I've named that Mayview Consolidated Freight and Shipping. That fits really nicely into that space in the curve of the backdrop. And then the building right next to it is North Star Manufacturing, which is, and I don't know if you can see, this is so bad. I don't know if you can see this, the little slogan says, "We put the U in manufacturing." That is so bad. But anyway, that is the front part and part of a wall of a Walthers building. I can't remember exactly which one it is, but it's a nice building, and again, I've turned that into a background building. Then on the internet, I discovered this technique, and you all out there probably all knew this technique already. I had never seen it done before, but I was somewhere on the internet, and I apologize to whoever it was that I learned it from that I can't give him or her credit. These are photographs of buildings. This is from Scenic King. Photographs of buildings, but what you do is you mount the photograph on a piece of mounting cardboard, a little bit of thick cardboard, and then you cut out all the windows, and then you mount that on another photograph, identical photograph of the building, and what you get is a flat, I don't know if you can see this or not, that has a lot of dimension because the windows are cut out like that. So rather than just looking like a flat old building here, flat old photo of a building, you get some dimension in the doors and windows and things like that. You can even see it down on this little brown building here, if I could focus it. It adds a lot of dimension. I love this technique. It takes a long time to cut those windows out, but it's well worth it. So what I've been doing as project one is arranging the buildings to try to get them into a configuration that I really like. And then I realized that I wanted to have some town off in the distance. So I mounted the backdrop to the masonite there. And it's a flat picture of a town. But I realized I'd like some apartment buildings, and there are no model manufacturers who make the backs of apartment buildings except for one model, which is the Earl Smallshaw tenement building, which is a 3-story building with laundry hanging and all that kind of stuff. Way too big for my layout. So I wound up by making some castings of some of the buildings that I have. My friend Chuck Diljack loaned me some backs of apartment buildings that he had. I made molds of them, made castings of them, and all told I made 8 of these things and painted them all up. You can see they're just, again, they're just flats. But they add a lot of nice dimension, and it gives you the impression that it's the backs of buildings looking out on the tracks, which is mostly what would be looking out on the tracks. It wouldn't be the fronts of the apartment buildings. Then I'm going to add some trees and some other view blocks because I think it looks a little bit too busy right now with all those photographs of the stores and all that stuff on the backdrop. So we'll cover up some of that stuff and call that a day, and then I can start ballasting the yard, which is a job. I just hate ballasting, and this is going to be a massive amount of ballasting. I'm going to be going through Woodland Scenic's cinders like there's no tomorrow. The second project, though, that I've been working on simultaneously is this area over here. If you remember, this area over here was still all raw track and raw plywood, and I figured as long as I had to make the hillside coming down to this level, for this portion of the layout that has the yard on it, I might as well just do the rest of this. So what I wound up by doing was making some rock castings from some Color-Brite or Color-Rite molds that I had from yesteryear, And we've got a nice rock cut with the track going through it. The technique that I used, let's get in the Wayback Machine here and take a look at what would have been probably a week ago. I made a grid of corrugated cardboard, hot glued it to the sub-road bed and the backdrop, and then when that was done, laid some sheets of hydrocal soaked paper towels over this, and then just yesterday painted it. So this is going on at the same time. We'll probably be hiding the hole in the backdrop with another canopy of trees or something else, and the same thing over here. So those are the two projects that have been that I've been doing for the past month. Some significant progress, I think, on the layout. It's all happening in this room for some reason. I don't know why I've concentrated on the train room, but I have. That is our update for mid-February 2016. Once again, thanks everybody for joining me. We will see you in mid-March.